Today is July 12th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It's a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are going to continue Chapter 1, Bill's story, by reading page 3. And out of the 12 and 12, we are going to continue Step 2 by reading page 31. And out of the Daily Reflections in 24 hours a day, we are going to be reading the July 12th entries. So with that, hope you're doing well today, my friends. Life is good over here. Got a big old cup of coffee, grin on my face because we are alive and sober yet again. What a blessing it is just to be alive and sober today. Let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. So if you recall from yesterday's reading in the Big Book, things are working out pretty good for Bill right now. You know, there's been some hints that he might have some trouble with alcohol, but right now, hey, times are good. He's on the road. He is checking out these companies, letting investors know how they're doing, and things are going pretty well. Again, we're reading page 3 today. For the next few years, fortune threw money and applause my way. I had arrived. My judgment and ideas were followed by many to the tune of paper millions. The great boom of the late 20s was seething and swelling. Drink was taking an important and exhilarating part in my life. There was loud talk in the jazz places uptown. Everyone spending thousands and shattered in millions. Scoffers could scoff and be damned. I made a host of fair weather friends. My drinking assumed more serious proportions, continuing all day and almost every night. The remonstrances of my friends terminated in a row, and I became a lone wolf. There were many unhappy scenes in our sumptuous apartment. There had been no real infidelity, for loyalty to my wife, helped at times by extreme drunkenness, kept me out of those scrapes. In 1929, I contracted Gulf fever. We went at once to the country, my wife to applaud while I started out to overtake Walter Hagen. Liquor caught up with me much faster than I came up behind Walter. I began to be jittery in the morning. Golf permitted drinking every day and every night. It was fun to carry him around the exclusive course which had inspired such awe in me as a lad. I acquired the impeccable code of tan that one sees upon the well-to-do. The local banker watched me whirl fat checks in and out of his till with amused skepticism. We'll continue our journey through Step 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Page 31. As psychiatrists have often observed, defiance is the outstanding characteristic of many an alcoholic. So it's not strange that lots of us have had our way at defying God himself. Sometimes it's because God has not delivered us the good things of life which we specified, as a greedy child makes an impossible list for Santa Claus. More often, though, we had met up with some major calamity, and to our way of thinking, lost out because God deserted us. The girl we wanted to marry had other notions. We prayed that God would change her mind, but she didn't. We prayed for healthy children and we were presented with sick ones, or none at all. We prayed for promotions at business, and none came. Loved ones upon whom we heartily depended were taken from us by so-called acts of God. Then we became drunkards and asked God to stop that. But nothing happened. This was the unkindest cut of all. Damn this faith business, we said. When we encountered AA, the fallacy of our defiance was revealed. At no time had we asked what God's will was for us. Instead, we had been telling him what it ought to be. No man we saw could believe in God and defy him too. Belief meant reliance, not defiance. In AA, we saw the fruits of this belief. Men and women spared from alcohol's final catastrophe. We saw them meet and transcend their other pains and trials. We saw them calmly accept impossible situations, seeking neither to run nor to recriminate. This was not only faith. It was faith that worked under all conditions. We soon concluded that whatever price and humility we must pay, we would pay. Now let's take the guy full of faith, but still reeking of alcohol. He believes he's devout. His religious observance is scrupulous. He's sure that he still believes in God, but suspects that God doesn't believe in him. He takes pledges and more pledges. Following each, he not only drinks again, but acts worse than the last time. Valiantly, he tries to fight alcohol, imploring God's help, but the help doesn't come. What then can be the matter? Daily Reflection, July 12th. Giving up center stage. For without some degree of humility, no alcoholic can stay sober at all. Without it, they cannot live to much useful purpose, or in adversity, be able to summon the faith that can meet any emergency. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 70. Why do I balk at the word humility? I'm not humbling myself toward other people, but toward God as I understand Him. Humility means to show submissive respect. And by being humble, I realize that I'm not the center of the universe. When I was drinking, I was consumed by pride and self-centeredness. I felt the entire world revolved around me, that I was the master of my destiny. Humility enables me to depend more on God to help me overcome obstacles, to help me with my own imperfections, so that I may grow spiritually. I must solve more difficult problems to increase my proficiency, and, as I encounter life's stumbling blocks, I must learn to overcome them through God's help. Daily communion with God demonstrates my humility and provides me with the realization that an entity more powerful than I is willing to help me if I cease trying to play God myself. 24 hours a day, July 12th. AA thought for the day. Today is ours. Let us live today as we believe God wants us to live. Each day will have a new pattern which we cannot foresee. But we can open each day with a quiet period in which we say a little prayer, asking God to help us through the day. Personal contact with God as we understand Him will day to day bring us nearer to an understanding of His will for us. At the close of the day, we offer Him thanks for another day of sobriety. A full, constructive day has been lived, and we are grateful. Am I asking God each day for strength and thanking Him each night? Meditation for the day. If you believe that God's grace has saved you, then you must believe that He is meaning to save you even more and keep you in the way that you should go. Even human rescuers will not save you from drowning only to place you in other deep and dangerous waters. Rather, they will place you on dry land, there to restore you. God, who is your rescuer, would certainly do this and even more. God will complete the task that He sets out to do. He will not throw you overboard if you are depending on Him. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may trust God to keep me in the way He wants me to go. I pray that I may rely on Him. Okay, that concludes today's reading. I'll keep this short and sweet. I'll tell you, out of the 12 and 12, this line right here really catches my eye. When we encountered AA, the fallacy of our defiance was revealed. At no time had we asked what God's will was for us. Instead, we've been telling Him what it ought to be. I've come to move out of my understanding with my wish list, right? And of all the things that I think should be done. Not really knowing, the bigger picture is God's will. There's only so much that I know in my little bubble. And the God of my understanding knows so much more. So a lot of times I have to catch myself. Even though I want someone to be healed, I have to say, God, I just pray that your will be done. And no matter what they're going through, I pray that you give them the strength to get through it. That seems to help me, Thank God I'm not the great director. Thank you so much for listening, and again, it is an honor to be here. If you are sober today, you are a miracle, and those who love you are very proud of you. And if we are given another set of 24 hours, my friends, I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.